The 4 magazine, Detroit, baby, we out here. You see what's going on, we activated, we ain't playing no games.
Welcome to another episode of Interviews with the Foreign Magazine, where we go beyond the veil into the thoughts, ideas, and perspectives of each guest that we sit down with. And today, as we were just talking before the cameras got to rolling, you got an interesting story, a legendary story. And a lot of people been able to benefit, gain views, and go viral off of a story that was around you. But you haven't yet been able to really capitalize or even really just tell your story. So today, that's what we're going to do, man. We got Marcellus Kincaid in the building. What's going on, my brother?
What up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Yes, sir, man. Definitely a privilege to have you. Honor to have you, bro. Anytime a person come in here, we always like to start with that because you could be doing anything right now, but you decided to pull up on us, man. So we definitely appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Reached out, man. You was still in the halfway house.
That's right.
You know, off of, like I said, a legendary situation, you know, that happened in the city of Detroit.
Right.
But before we go into the ins and outs of that story, you come from very rich pedigree, very rich background. You know what I mean? When you think about Detroit, you know, history, your family comes right in that line, you know? And even when we hear about what you were able to do, if you know anything about your OGs, your big homies, it's kind of like a no-brainer that you would be the one to do some stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you can, man, just go a little bit back into the origin, the early beginnings, what was like for you coming up in Detroit, and a little bit about the things that you seen coming up as opposed to maybe what your friends or other people around you didn't see, like what made your life so different than other people's.
Well, Marcellus Kincaid, better known as Pep, 41 Pep. My daddy was Cedale Kincaid. Uncle was All World, Benji Kincaid. They from off the east side, so I was blessed to be east and west, originally from out the Brewster Projects. Moms took us to Southfield for a minute. Grew up on Finkel, you know, Zone 4, that's Grand River and Livernois and everything. But dad and uncles was gangsters, you know, but they always taught me education, school, so that way I'd never be able to fall off, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
If you can, like you said, they always, you know, taught you education. You experienced a lot of things. When your early days, what years would you say was when you was able to like really visualize and understand what was going on around you?
Real young, because like my mom like the hood niggas, you know what I'm saying? So it was always a hood nigga around. But all of them was smart. All of them was smart. Like my dad, real known, if you watch Motor City Mafia, they speak on him. Eddie Jackson and all them speak on him. My Uncle World, they always speak on him, you know. So I grew up looking at that. They call me like ghetto royalty. I didn't see it like that growing up. I just looked at it as a normal childhood. At 13, my first stepfather got murdered. So it kind of like moms had 4 kids, didn't think that she was going, no nigga wanted her, shit like that, even though she was on point, registered nurse, own crib, all that shit. So I ended up getting pushed out to the streets at 13. So I was 13, stealing cars just to sleep in them, sleeping in abandoned houses, shit like that. Went over to Grand River and Livernois, you know, hustled, started slanging, going in and out of town, out of South Bend, Indiana, shit like that.
What years would you say that was?
Like 93.
And how old were you around that time?
13, 14,
okay, yeah.
15, 17, I went to prison for armed robbery, unarmed robbery. Did 7 years. That's where I got to meet everybody. I was on the same prison yard as my daddy. And I didn't think I was going to recognize him because he was gone when I But as soon as I seen him, I was like, damn, that was my daddy right there.
And you said you saw that
And he put the hustle in me right then and there. Because I was fucked up in that bitch. Like on my mama's side, I'm the black sheep. Everybody there educated, school, nurses, real estate, all type of stuff. But on my daddy's side, street. So I was in prison. Nobody was looking out for me. So everybody was like, your daddy here, your daddy here. And when I seen him, he was like, damn, you fucked up. Went in, came out with the bag and was like, this how you do it. So in the joint, I started getting money.
And you know, even with that, man, prison, you know, for those who may not know, you can actually take care of your family
From prison.
from there if you play your cards right and, you know what I mean, handle business right. If we, to backstep a little bit, for those who may not know, if you could kind of like, you don't got to go into too much detail, but briefly talk about the role that your father and your uncles played in the streets, the connections, the relationships. What would they be known for? Who would they be known to be associated and connected with?
Well, my Uncle World, he ran the prison system. You know, my daddy, everybody know he was a Melanic. Everybody know him, Spike X, Skip Murder, Pop Squally, Big Crusher, Little Crusher from YBI. All them grew up together. So I was on the yard with all them. And I was young, 17, 18 years old. And they tilling me right then. Nigga, you in here for armed robbery? Don't no nigga getting money want you around them. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that shit around them. You stopping yourself. You know, so they put being around them OGs, I wasn't hanging with the young niggas in there. They took me up under their wing like, come on, nigga, you a Kincaid. But before that, I was in there fighting all the damn time before they even knew who my people was. Because when I went in, everybody, don't let nobody know World your uncle. Don't let nobody know your daddy, who this, that. So I had to earn my shit on my own.
Why do you think that they said that?
Because my uncle had a lot of enemies. My uncle had a lot of enemies. Like, if you watch his interview, things like that, he was shooting moves, making shit happen all around the United States from in prison. You know what I'm saying? And my daddy shit, I remember in Cotton, bitch-ass police put a knife on me and came to my room and said, I've been trying to get your daddy for 20 years. I got the next best thing, you. Put a knife on me. I ain't even had it. Sent me to the hole for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm going to look out for you, and sent me to Macomb, to the city.
Damn.
Because my daddy was so smooth, he always stayed 10 steps ahead of him. So.
If you was to say, like, you know, maybe, was that maybe like the worst play or anything that was like put on you because of your last name? Or were there any other instances or situations?
That was like the worst, that was the worst play. That because anywhere else, the streets love us. You know what I'm saying? All the OGs love me. You know, plus I was a Melanic in there standing on my own. You know, so they fucked with me. You know what I'm saying?
For those who may not know, what is a Melanic?
It's a organization. It was a religion that they took up out of there because it was about bringing us together. We was like the radicals up in there. We stood on our own. You know what I'm saying? We was a small knit group, but was powerful. We followed Nat Turner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nat Turner, if anybody know about Nat Turner, that was like our prophet. You know, but we were so small, but we moved as a powerful group up in there.
Yeah, we actually had a Melanic brother come in. We had a couple of them. Auto X.
I think I know Auto.
And then there was another brother named G4 or something like that. He was another Melanic brother, and they was explaining, you know, what it is. So that's, you know, for those who, you know, just want to educate themselves, I always ask people, you know what I mean, about that. So, bam, you do your 7 years, you know, you get groomed, you learn how to hustle. I'm assuming this is old, so what was the hustle then in prison?
Weed, dog. You know, we could take a match head. We could take a match head, a dog, and make money. You could take a spoon, which was a cap, you know, a chapstick cap. That's $25. Now I heard it's $50. So you making money over there. Off an ounce, you making like $2,000, $1,000 sometimes, depending on how much love you want to show.
That's crazy. And out here versus then, what would you say what the overall profit gain would be to have to, I guess break an ounce down in the streets versus breaking an ounce down in prison?
Well, now the game up. You only making a couple dollars off of a zip, and now you making like $2,000 off of a zip. You know what I'm saying? Because let me see. When I was there, it was $5 as long as it can go across the toilet paper, a little thin line, because our system's so clean. So you look at you making now $5 off a little bitty shit, a match head damn near. $5, not them $10. So you making $2,000-$3,000 off of an ounce when we making that out of a bow out here. You know what I'm saying? So you eating, niggas getting back on time, giving time back, paying for that lawyer from up in there.
Saying because they got the finances.
Because they had the finances, yeah. Mm. Like now, there's a lot of gang banging up in there. Up in there, the religions ran it back then. Now the gangs run it now. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them OGs is old. They don't want to go level 4, level 5 for the rest of their life. Because you go into level 5 for at least 5 years if you get into some shit. So they old now, 50, 60, 70. Shit, I'm down there 50. So they like 60, 70 now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be up in level 4, level 5, so they done gave it to the young niggas. And the young niggas, they really ain't about the chicken.
So did you see the transition happen between with the young and the religions?
When I went in at 17, like we used to have tokens. I had just missed. They phased the tokens out. Then they went to the stamps. Then they got rid of the stamps. Them was stamp envelopes. Stamps. Then they went to hygiene, which was soap. Was the money. Soap, toothpaste, deodorant. That was the money. Then they went from that to the food. So I seen all the transitions to it. Now it's stow bags and things like that.
So you come home, you groomed 03, from 19 to what?
I was in there from 17 to 24.
Okay, from 17 to 24. You come home, you had an opportunity to be with your pops, get groomed by the OGs, and do you instantly what's your steps when you come home? Like, how do you
trying to do the right thing?
Yeah.
After doing all that time, you try to do the right thing, but you influence from your homies that ain't never went nowhere, especially some of your homies that was lames when you left, and now they names is ringing around the hood. I got caught up in that, like, shit, let me jump back out here and get this money. School jobs wasn't hiring me because of my felony, stuff like that, so I jumped back off, but I ain't go back to the game. I always went the opposite way. So I got into the identity theft. I had met one of my little females, Kwame. Y'all might remember when Kwame laid off all those police. So they told her to clean out her office. She had a stack of motherfucking names and socials of the police. So I started ordering credit cards in the Detroit police name.
And do you feel like with you knowing all of these different hustles, you done been in the streets, you done been on the robbing side, you done been on the, weed, dope side, then the scamming side, though. Like,
you don't respect that scamming money, dog.
You say you don't?
That shit comes so motherfucking fast, dog. It comes so fast, it's here and gone. Fuck it, I'll go put another police name in.
Straight up.
So, and then you might have a long-ass run, and then it's a dry spell. So we put it in, we like, my girl like, what we gonna do with these motherfucking lists? Like, I'm not too good on the computer, but I'm good with coming up with the ideas. So I'm like, look, do this. Put in these names, make up some birth dates, and it popped. So for 2.5 years, we was running it up on the Detroit police name.
How much would you say you probably ran it?
A bunch of money. I know we went to Vegas because in Vegas you can take the credit cards and get it all off for a little amount.
Yeah.
So we took a stack of credit cards and I'm shooting it back to my god brother. He now rest in peace. But shooting it back. When we got back, the safe was packed. King size bed, all thousands from top to bottom. We got fucked up on that because the little bitch I was fucking with, ordered a punk ass Dooney and Burke purse and used the same email that she put on her job application. So that's how they got us on that.
And that's what sent you.
Sent me back for the 4 years. So while I'm on the yard doing the 4 years, me and my partner, we reading the motherfucking magazines, how they got containers, shipping containers, and using vending machines. And I told him back then, I said, bro, I'm gonna get me a vending machine and I'm gonna post these bitches up. That's where the money, and I'm done with these streets. And what you gonna do with the vending machine? I said, I'm gonna beat everybody prices. I'm gonna put dollar chips, dollar pops. Everybody want $2. I'm gonna cut everybody out. So fast forward it. I get out here, all my homies pull up on me. They growing now. Weed always been my passion since I was a little kid. My mama caught me growing in my closet, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So weed always been my passion, my calling. So
He said, my call.
So they pull up on me like, what's up, Pep? I'm like, what up? I'm like, damn, nigga, when you start growing? He like, shit, I got a couple more. I grabbed it, went in there, sold it like that. They like, this what you need to do, dog. You good at this shit. Since we was in school, you always. So I went to the gas station and hey, nigga, I saw a blunt. I cut into, back then everybody was doing .6s for $10. I was the first nigga to do the grams for $10. And I was delivering. I would come all the way to the east side for $10. I didn't give a fuck. You know, I was pulling up on you 100 times. I was coming. So then I get my BM pregnant. And she like, nigga, you done got me pregnant and all you want to do is rip and run. Yeah. She was like, you ain't about to keep me stuck in this motherfucking house. So I was taking a shit one day and was like, I'm about to put my vending machine up.
And the rest was history. Man, because when I saw that, I said, this got to be the coldest shit in the world, bro.
The niggas in the hood was pissed at me when I put it up.
Why was they upset?
They like, bitch, you gonna get this bitch raided. That bitch ain't gonna make it a week. I had that bitch up there 4.5 years.
You had the vending machine with the weed in there for 4.5
years. Yep.
How do you think you was able to successfully do it for that long?
My hood.
Okay.
My neighbors, everybody on the block copped from me. And by me growing up over there, if they need something, it was like, especially during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? When they needed something, I was there for them. This ain't just, this for the community, basically, you know what I'm saying? The older people my older customers didn't want to do hand-to-hand. They was paranoid. They masked up. They was like, this is perfect. They want to smoke. But everybody was scared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, nigga, we was scared. Remember, we had motherfucking pots boiling lemons and motherfucking oranges and spraying motherfuckers down. With Lysol. Pick up at the bottom of your feet, nigga, spraying them bitches down.
I'm missing it. Why?
Because it's the pandemic. We didn't know. COVID. Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't know. Yeah. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. So the old heads love that shit, and then that's how it took off.
So this was right around COVID time.
It was right around COVID. Yep, okay. When I popped it off. Yep.
And so, in terms of like how fast was you like selling out and refilling? Like how was it going in terms of like business? Like how was that going?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. The first year, they were fucking that chicken up. Second year, still fucking it up. They like, but I'm looking at my sales go up more and more and more and more and more. You know, the last 2.5 years, we was doing a bow in 24 hours in dimes and 20s. Plus, we was the first one I was the first one to use the Apple Pay and the phones.
For the vending machine.
For the vending machine.
So people was actually able to put their phone to the vending machine and get. Yep. What was the variety? Was it different kind? Or
I had two strands, two different strands. Yep. Dimes and 20s, two different strands.
Oh, yeah.
Easy, get in, get out.
Simple.
Cop and go.
Simple. But weed was legal, though, around this time, right?
Weed is legal.
Yeah.
And you can give weed away and you can take donations.
So what was the discrepancy?
Well, we didn't find out until a month later when we got hit. If everybody know the law, everybody play that they know the law. ATF came at me. They don't give a fuck about weed. Some nigga got caught and said that we were selling pills out the vending machine and guns to minors. Watched me for 3.5 months and didn't get none of that shit. So that last month day of an investigation, he called his cousin and was like, "You remember that AR you sold? I'm coming to buy it back." And he said, "All right." After his other people came and brought the paperwork, like, "Don't f with dog," he telling, "Here go the paperwork." He looking at all this cuz he ain't gonna do me like that. Nigga, he did me like that. He ain't do you like that. This is my shit.
Damn. And that's what sent the whole.
That's what sent it. So that gave them probable cause to come in my house. They sent private, they sent what's them called, CIs, tried to get pills, never got it. Tried to get guns, never got it. You know, so they like, he called and was like, "I'm coming to buy that back."
And he said, "All right."
And that's what gave them probable cause.
Damn.
So everybody think it was the internet. Everybody thinking it was the internet that got me popped. ATF don't give a fuck about no weed. They don't give a fuck about social media. Somebody lied and said I was selling guns to kids. That's what got me popped.
So technically what you did wasn't illegal.
Illegal.
It wasn't wrong.
It wasn't wrong.
What, just asking, I'm not saying, but what would stop you from reopening?
Who to say it ain't me, but who to say it ain't one up there?
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to do with that no more. I done left that.
100%.
But who's to say it ain't one up there right now?
Yeah, man, because that's
anybody can take my idea and, you know, that was a family house. We all grew up in that house.
Yeah.
So I don't go over there like that no more.
For sure.
But who's to say it ain't one over there?
Yeah. So even now, man, after you know, out the halfway house, you know what I mean? You know, you good, you situated now, like what moves business wise or whatever, you know what I mean, your goals and the things that you trying to do at this point.
I'm trying to be a legit household name. You know, I want to be like Backwood of the vending machines. You know, they got 3 for $10 blunts over there now. Ain't nobody doing that. You know, they got some nice stuff over there.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just trying to put my vending machine in spots where it can go, because I know they basically gave me the sauce. You know, because again, we can give weed away and we can take donations.
Yeah. So you say even in going through that process, education is like one of the most valuable things that you could have gained out of that whole situation. We got to learn
the laws. If you learn the law, they already don't want to give us the weed license. But if you read up on, if our people read, there's gray lines to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All you got to do, the weed game so fucked up now. Everybody they done heard my story and now everybody want to be the weed man. You know what I'm saying? But we fighting with the dispensaries. Y'all want to charge us all this money where our weed is better out here on the streets, but y'all want dispensary prices for some bullshit. We can't do that. I think everybody should respect the streets. You know what I'm saying? And don't lower the prices and things like that, because this is our game. They just came in and took our shit because everybody say, not to jump stories, but everybody say, well, why you didn't open a dispensary? I'm a 10-time convicted felon now. They're not giving me no card. Then if he give me 30,000, they want to go back 3-4 people on and say where he get the money, and where he get the money. But with the Arabs, what do? My daddy gave me this because he owned this liquor store and the book stopped right there.
Idiot.
You know what I'm saying? I think we should just support each other and stop sucking.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? We get rid of their shit. You know what I'm saying? But since they got 10, 15, 50 bowls, they giving motherfuckers 50 bowls, they want to suck him. But you ain't gonna never eat at the same table as them. You gonna eat at that kitty table. You know what I'm saying? They just gonna bird feed you to where you ain't never had 50 bowls, you ain't never had 100 bowls, so now you think you getting it. What really pissed me off is when one of my people came and was like, yeah, you can get some pizza, you help pay for this. Damn, I brought a pizza populist nigga, and all I'm good for is a pizza.
Right.
You niggas ain't say, do you need something on a lawyer? Is your family straight? None of that shit. That's when it woke up to me like, and then guess who they had running it? Us.
Mm.
So we too scared to step out on our own, but we'll go work for they motherfucking ass and run their own shit.
Time for some things to
Time some
around.
shit to change.
Real talk. Real talk. I feel like this, you know, in my opinion, I feel like this would be a good base. I ain't gonna lie, I got a lot more questions, and I think you can give like a lot more information and knowledge just about that whole industry, because it is a thing, and I think people need to be educated in that. Do you feel like would you be cool with another go round, like a part 2, where we can like focus specifically on just the industry and just understanding how this thing work, and what would be the steps, and you know, like what would be, I guess, the message that you would continue to give to people?
Oh yeah, for sure, I'm with it.
For sure.
I'm with it. I'm with growth.
So,
for us, you know what I'm saying? So whatever and however.
That's what it is, man. If you could tell the people where to follow you at on all social media platforms.
OG41 Papillon. Marcellus Kincaid on Facebook.
Yes, sir, man. That's what it is, man. Marcellus Kincaid, the Foreign Magazine, Pulse of the Culture.
That's
Let's
right.
get it.
Let's get it.